So here we are in Manhattan. Timmy Time is one of our subscribers. You see him comment a lot, and he says that we need to do more live. So here I am, and we're doing more live. And I know this takes a while to build up because we've done that before, and that's why we don't do a lot. Because you're doing live, you're kind of talking to yourself, which is fine. I talk to myself all the time. I'll just do it live. You guys can watch me talk to myself, and if you happen to jump in, that'd be even better. So check it out. So we're in Manhattan, where it is now legal to smoke marijuana in public. Anywhere you can smoke cigarettes. Isn't that crazy? That literally happened just like a couple of weeks ago, like a month ago. Like when we arrived. Good morning. Good morning. So here we are, legally smoking marijuana in Manhattan. Watch, I get some cops come up behind me and arrest me there. But no, seriously, it's actually been fairly legal for a while. I mean, I know when I lived here, people would smoke in public a lot, so they kind of had already decriminalized it, so to speak, but now it is fully legal, but at the state level. So that means that what they anticipate happening here in the next short term here, probably by 2022, getting the dispensaries, but then also public smoking lounges. Wouldn't that be cool? Like in Amsterdam, like where you can go and hang out and toke some weed with your friends or whatnot, or whatever you feel like doing. So we're gonna take a little walk down, around through wherever I'm at here in Manhattan to check it out. But I just want to do a quick blog because I haven't done it in a while. I was going to originally start this blog off on talking about when I was originally living here, what I was doing. And what I was doing was, you guys heard of internet banking? I know it's rhetorical, right? Well, 20 years ago, a lot of people hadn't. In fact, most of the banks hadn't. And we were spending a lot of time working with the banks to get them online, to get their statements online, to get their bills online, to get basically the way they communicate with you through paper, get them to do it paperlessly. And we were doing that through the 90s. And that's pretty much how I, got into whatever I got into. So I'm kind of what they call a payment expert when it comes to like credit cards and crypto and everything, payment related, because the infrastructures are still in place. Anyways, so that was 20 years ago. But today, as you know, everyone uses internet banking. So, not a lot of use for someone to go out and pitch internet banking. So, what I did was after that was done, well, let me back up a little bit, kind of jumping around. So that was, sorry, I get a little worked up because that was a company I worked for. It's a company called FiServ, F-I-Serve, like Financial Institution Services. And what they did was they service all the they do all the software, all the back end for all the big banks and all the credit unions and stuff. So what happened was I worked for them. They relocated me to Manhattan on September 1st, 2001. So I get here and 11 days later, boom, big old tragedy happens. So, I mean, the whole place is shut down, if you can imagine. I mean, for those of you who were living here after 9/11, the place was shut down for 6 months, at least 6 months. I only know it was 6 months because about 5 months into it, my boss at FiServ calls me up to tell me that they're laying me off because there's no business in Manhattan right now. No one's signing anything. I said, well, no shit. But you just moved me here. You took me away from my home and you moved me here. So what am I supposed to do? I mean, and they're like, here's 3 months severance. Wow. I'd never felt more abandoned in my entire life than when that corporation cut me loose after 9/11. I mean, it wasn't like I'd been working for them like in Manhattan and then cut me loose, which would have been lame too. But they had relocated me to a place where there was a disaster. And because of the disaster, I wasn't able to perform my function because no one's doing business. But they couldn't ride me out for a year until things kind of settled down. Anyways, They abandoned me, and that felt like crap. I don't know if any of you have ever been abandoned when you've given yourself to 100% to something, but they abandoned me. That felt like crap. I got sad. I got depressed. I found another job. I found several other jobs. One of them was with a company. Ironically, the company I went to go work for, I quit them, but they eventually got bought by Fiserv too. So, anyways, I worked for them, and their job was, check this out. I quit them because I just felt that it was weird. Because here I was, this Manhattan guy, and living in, I make a lot of money. You have to make a lot of money to live here. I'm selling software. And we're doing payments for the bank, so we're making a lot of money. But now the company I'm working for is no longer doing the cool stuff. Now what we have is we have that. Okay, you guys know when your electricity gets cut off? No, of course you don't, because that's not where you live. But there's a whole lot of people that do get their electricity cut off because they have to manage they have to decide what they want today. Do they want to have food today? Do they have to pay their rent today? Do they have to pay some medical bill today for school, or do they have to pay their electricity bill? So everything gets put off, and usually what happens is that they cut you off, and then you got to get it turned on. And these people that we were working with were those people. And basically I was just kind of like, man, it just seemed weird that here I am making all this money off people that have none. I mean, you guys are probably familiar with the service. You call them and you use your credit card to turn your electricity on. And it charges you $3. Well, that $3 went to my company. And so I was just like, that's kind of when I walked away from it. I just couldn't do it. I just couldn't sit here and just live this fat life off of people that are being poor, giving me $3 so they could turn the electricity on. I don't know, something sat weird with me about that. So, plus I was also depressed anyways from getting abandoned before. I was already like, fuck corporations. This is bullshit. So, I quit that job. I got real depressed. My girlfriend at the time obviously couldn't understand. My friends couldn't understand. My family couldn't understand. So, they all abandoned me too. They didn't know why I quit working. They couldn't understand why I was upset. Because they weren't in Manhattan. They didn't live here. I did. And so my friends are back in suburban land in Portland, Oregon, and in Seattle and Denver and all. They're all like, yeah, we were 9/11. Yeah, no, you weren't really. You were there, but you weren't. And instead of my friends kind of like saying, hey man, Jedi Rick's going through some shit. You know what they did? They literally sat me down and said, we're cutting you out. We can't talk to you because you're just too far out there. And I'm like, wow. And I go in the details. It's just stupid stuff. There was something that happened in Vegas, but it wasn't anything that I did that was anything different that they've ever done. I didn't even do anything for that matter. It was just this weird thing. It was just like, okay, I guess I'll tell you what it was. Since now I'm building it up, making a really big deal. But we came here for my cousin's wedding. My uncle worked directly for Sheldon Adelson, so, if you can imagine. The weddings were cool. So all of my friends obviously leached onto me to get to my cousins because they always loved to come to Vegas and get into free clubs and get the VIP treatment and nice rooms at the Venetian and Plaza and whatnot. So they loved using me for that. So at this wedding, now mind you, before 9/11, I did not touch a drop of alcohol or any drugs or anything. I was one of those real square types, obnoxiously square. But after 9/11, I started drinking, and then I also started doing some cocaine. And it was over a couple year period. It wasn't like overnight, but anyway. So at this wedding in 2003, everyone and my friends had always drank and had always done cocaine and always done drugs. I was always the sober one. I was always the one kind of like, they were always high on Molly, and I am taking Dan Niter, driving his ass around, and he comes to visit me in Manhattan, gets so fucking wasted, I had to bring him to the ER the next day. I mean, that's the kind of partying these guys did every weekend, and I stayed sober. But then I'm going through some shit. I'm going through some personal shit. And I'm drinking maybe a year, and I see them one time at a wedding, and Dan Nider's sister calls me up, because I guess Dan Nider's sister was there with Dan's girlfriend, and they got in a fight, and they weren't, you know, it's just stupid shit. So they weren't talking, but they called me, and they said, come on over. So I went over there. They said, hey, you have any Coke? I said, of course. Have some. That's what we were all doing. And then the next thing I know, Dan Nider is calling me up and telling everybody that all these terrible things about me, and he says he's cutting me out. So he smears my name with all my friends and family, saying I'm just telling everybody I'm doing drugs. I mean, which, by the way, he was too. He just left that part out. But just singles me out, judges me, and then abandons me. 2003. I mean, that was the end for me. Once, like, Dan Nider, and then I called my friend Greg Hedges, who I'd known since I was a kid, you know, and because I figured he knew who I was, and he knew I wasn't lying. And when I talked to him, all he said, yeah, I know, but you know, Rich, hey, the lesson is you should just never be in a woman's room alone. It's like, fuck you guys, you know? Give me some like lesson on being in a hotel. We all knew each other. We were all fucking everybody. Everybody was fucking everybody. There was no like, it was ridiculous that suddenly because of one line of cocaine, that by the way, those girls fucking did more cocaine than I was doing at the time, because whatever reason I was dating Carla Gosnell, who was a goddamn fucking nun. I mean, it's like living with a prison warden with her around. Anyways, that's another story. But all this happened. So all these people, so my girlfriend leaves, my friends leave me, and of course, my dad's my friend, but he's kind of like, you know, he's so anti-drug, and he's hearing all this shit. So, and of course, my cousin, they're all like anti-drug, so they just cut me out. So all my family and friends cut me out in 2003, 2004. So I say, fuck it. I left Manhattan. I quit, man. I quit banking. I quit the corporate world. I quit my friends, and I didn't know what I was gonna do. But you know what I did? I started bartending. I loved it. So I moved to Aspen, and I just hung out there. And then fast forward 20 years later, here I am. So let's go for a walk. Yeah, kind of, you know, it feels good to kind of get this shit out, because really, you know, I've been living this for a long time. You know, think about it. Think about when you've been judged and convicted and unjustly accused for 20 years, and you've been isolated from your old friends, and they all talk crap about you. It's just, the weird thing is, I'm just gonna say it right now. All the people that were there, all my family that was talking crap about me, are all fat as fuck. I mean, they'll eat as much sugar as whatever I mean, every time I go over there, Jesus, all they do is eat. They're just big, and they don't realize how unhealthy that is. And they drink alcohol, of course, and smoke cigarettes. But then, oh gosh, they heard that I did cocaine 20 years ago, and I'm this weirdo. It's like, hey man, I don't know what to tell you. I was enlightened. You know what? I find drugs to be very, very mind expanding. I learned a lot of shit. You know? I mean, what do you do? Life is life, you know? I mean, no one could have predicted 9/11, and I was here on the fucking day. So, what are you gonna say about that? Well, I wasn't here on the day. I was getting my shit, because I'd signed the lease, and I had to go back to Seattle, get my stuff. But while I'm getting my stuff, my place where I'm moving to blows up. That's mind-boggling, and nobody even seemed to care. No one asked me how I felt. They just judged me for how I behaved. And that's what this is about. So if you guys have friends, or if you have anybody who's going through stuff, I mean, the last thing you want to do is judge them. Because first of all, they might have answers for you that can help you down the road when you run into something. And then what are you gonna do? You have to put your tail between your legs. You have to go ask this person that you ostracized for help. And you know they're gonna give you help because they're good people. They're not like you. They're not the kind of person that would cut somebody out and not help them. That's what Dan Nider would do. You know, I mean, what a terrible person Dan Nider turned out to be. 20 years ago, the guy was my best friend. His sister wants a line of cocaine, I give it to her, and he cuts me out forever. Well, why not cut the sister out? Why cut me out? You know? But hey, you made your choice. I don't know, this turned into like a personal blog against Dan Snyder, and it's really not that, because I love the guy. But really, but you learn a lot when a person does stuff like that to a person, you know? And he's got to live with that. See, the cool thing is, I'm kind of cool. I'm through with what I had to deal with. And it actually helped me in a way because it got me out of, well, let's put it this way. I'd be a douchebag just like my friend Greg Hedges, living, sorry Greg, but you know what I mean? Like with a mortgage and a kid and some wife he doesn't really like that much. I mean, I know he doesn't like her. I mean, I've known Greg forever, I can tell. But he's stuck. So man, this is a really personal blog. So if you guys made it this long, come on, let's get out of here before you guys find out some other stuff maybe you don't want to know. But no, my friend Greg, I grew up with him. His parents were friends with my parents before we were born. And then we were born, and then we grew up together. We didn't go to the same school, but you know. So that's what you call, so I viewed Greg like a brother, you know? So, and another reason why I viewed Greg like a brother was because, hey, I need to get one of these, because my iPhone, it works pretty good stabilizing on the video, but when I'm doing a live broadcast, it's really bad. Do you guys know if anybody knows of a really inexpensive gimbal or something like that for an iPhone? I don't need it for the DSLR because I had to sell that. I don't have that. So, anyways, let's continue our walk through Manhattan. We're just walking out of Bowery right now.
I saw him on TV. Hey. I seen him on TV. It's the greatest show ever. That's where you just video and do everything. Even I myself, I do it too.
Yeah, what do you do?
And TV, a lot of different things. Philanthropist. I should get a club party, get it together, primo, do some selfie party.
I love it, man.
Think about renting this out for a selfie party.
Great idea. Museum even.
Exactly. Henry42Dawson.com. You can hook it up with Chase or ANZ.
I love that idea.
Call it Henry Dawson in Knickerbocker, Lower East Side. I know where he's at. Give us a call back.
Thank you, brother. Thank you for stopping in, man. Oh, look at that. You got a free gift.
Designer deco. It's a designer deco. Whenever you see hats, furniture, or enlighten yes. These you see British employers for military service. You saw them. They unzip them, drive by the war.
Those are nice, man.
I'm hoping they send me another pair. It costs a lot to resold these. You see?
Yeah.
Cap it off, but you can't find soles anywhere.
Yeah, have a great day.
The naked cowboy is paid.
Woo!
The naked cowboy hasn't paid for what he hasn't done. Save New York.
That's right.
Thank you.
I think he thinks I'm the naked cowboy.
Right, nigga. Right, nigga.
Oh man. Look, styling. Pretty active. We'll do another live tonight. Thanks for the up hearts. Please subscribe. Appreciate it. Appreciate all the comments and suggestions. This was Timmy. Did live shit. This is all Timmy Time's idea. He's the one who loves this live stuff, so we're doing more of that. And I kind of like it too, because then I don't have to worry about uploading it and dealing with all that shit. So gonna keep wandering, I guess. Okay, so there's the Williamsburg Bridge over there. You guys see that? All right, guys.